Guys, it's your brother in Christ, Weston. Thanks for joining me today. Today's article comes out of End Times headlines. Let's get into it. Okay, this is a big deal. It says here, Iran strikes back, sends barrage of missiles at Tel Aviv. U.S. helps Israel to shoot them down. So Israel sent, I forgot what kind of attacks it was, but it took out like some top commanders and generals and I think nuclear facilities and nuclear scientists because Iran was building nukes. And to protect Israel and pretty much everybody as a means as to why Israel's not only protecting their own sovereignty, their own people, their own nation, but that they were going to give Iran was going to give these to like radical Houthis or whomever that would obviously love to see Israel under the ground. And I watched a video by Netanyahu talk about this, and it was convincing as to why he would do something like that. Also, it also felt like that when Israel did this, it sent a signal that the US did this. And I don't know about you guys. I don't want to go to war. I don't want to go to war at all. I don't want the US to have to fight a war, somebody else's war. I love Israel. I want Israel protected. I want all the Muslims protected. I want all the Muslims in Gaza protected, in Palestine, and everywhere, right? I don't want wars. Um, I want justice, but I don't want wars. I don't want people dying, but I want criminals behind bars. Um, yeah. So, with that said, here we are. As you can see, this is the Golden Dome, um, the system that is shooting down the rockets. It says here Iran launched a series of ballistic missiles at Tel Aviv and other Israeli cities, escalating tensions in the Middle East to a critical point. The assault, described by Israeli officials as a retaliatory response to Israel's preemptive strikes on Iranian nuclear and military facilities, prompted a robust defense from Israel, bolstered by significant U.S. military support. So they have a lot of our weaponry. And uh, for that, I don't see how anybody wouldn't see that Iran is probably thinking, well, what do they say? They say Israel is the little Satan and US is the great Satan. Satan nonetheless. Yeah, so if they're thinking like that about Israel and about us, then whatever Israel does, it is if anything, just a backdoor attack from the US. So that's how I see it. Israel Defense Forces reported that most missiles were intercepted by Israel's multi-layered defense system, including the Iron Dome. The Iron Dome, excuse me. David Sling and the Arrow systems failed to reach their targets. However, several buildings were hit, with Channel 12 reporting 2 people critically injured, 8 moderately injured, and 34 with minor injuries due to shrapnel. The attack followed Israel's Operation Rising Lion. That's an interesting name, Rising Lion, the King of Judah. Line out of the tribe of Judah. A large scale offensive that targeted Iran's nuclear facilities at Natanz and Isfahan, as well as military infrastructures and senior commanders, including Hussein Salami, I'm saying that right, of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu described the operation as one of the greatest military operations in history, aimed at dismantling Iran's nuclear and ballistic missile capabilities. Explosions illuminated the skies over Tel Aviv, with sirens urging residents to seek shelter. Social media footage showed missiles streaking across the night sky, with some intercepted with bright flashes, while others caused damage to residential areas. In Ramat Gan, an apartment block suffered significant structural damage, and emergency services worked to rescue trapped individuals. The U.S. played a pivotal role in Israel's defense, deploying ground-based air defense systems, including Patriot PAC-3, THAAD, to intercept incoming missiles. 2 U.S. Navy destroyers, the USS Sullivans and USS Arleigh Burke, positioned in the eastern Mediterranean, also contributed to the effort. Fox News reported that the U.S. forces assisted in shooting down multiple projectiles, a move described by Pentagon officials as critical to preventing a larger scale catastrophe. A U.S. official emphasized that while the U.S. was informed of Israel's strikes on Iran, it did not participate in the offensive operations. That needs to be noted. At the UN Security Council, U.S. Representative McCoy Pitt reiterated that Israel's actions were necessary for its self-defense. I agree. underscoring America's commitment to Israel's security while advocating for diplomatic efforts to prevent further escalations. So, why is all this important? Because we want to help people. Also, we don't want to fight foreign wars. We do that too much. We fight other people's wars, we fight their wars for them, getting ourselves killed, losing out on lives, on tons of fine, like we hurt our economy, we pay for it. And when there's a global threat, we face it globally. When there are two people who are trying to play, you know, chicken and they don't like each other, it's not because we can't be involved, but we don't need to be involved. I'm tired of us being involved when American lives are at risk. Now I get it. We are pretty much the big brother to everybody. It seems in some sense we've made ourselves that way because we are the superpower, and we put our citizens at risk all the time. That's a good thing in a sense for wanting to show that we want justice, but America is I would say just as corrupt in areas that other people are, and to some degree we probably have our hands on a lot of things that I can't say out loud, but would probably instigate such things around the world because our hands are in them, and I'm sure other people's hands are as well. We have, let's just say, the Epstein situation. That's all kinds of people. Sure, a whole bunch of people in America. So, we're not going to sit here and have this false humility, false justice, false good guy, holier than thou, because we're not. We are for sure not. There is judgment that will happen on this land. And to understand that not all wars are our wars. And we are sacrificing our people for people, not because they wouldn't do it for us, um, but who knows if they would, if they even had the capability. And maybe that's because we're trying to help people fight who can't fight for themselves. But if people are equipped militarily to expand their sovereign nation and protect their nation, and can do that, then at some point you can't hold their hand anymore. I know that Israel is a part of the end times. I know that Israel is a major player in the end times, and the whole world will turn on Israel. Um, I believe that this is leading. If this didn't strike WW3, it's like around the corner, because as soon as this happened, there's no way that they don't respond, or somebody comes out and turns against Israel or whatnot. I don't think the U.S. wants to go to war. I don't think we have an issue going to war, but we don't want to go to war. It's not in our means to want to do that, just willy nilly on behalf of other people. Uh, I think we need to take America first, continue to put America first, care about your people. And the people, that's what the citizens of this great nation are saying. Care about your people before putting so many other people before us. And why is that? It's a really backhanded, weird relationship. It's a weird marriage in some sense. Everybody else comes before your husband, or everybody else comes before your wife. How can that be? Everybody else comes before Christ. How can that be? So I don't know what's going to stem from this. I applaud Israel on their defense, on protecting their sovereignty. If the shoe was the other way around, and it was Israel and they were bullying Iran because Israel was, let's say, in the wrong, I'd be rooting for Iran or whomever. It's not because I'm biased. It's because I see justice, I see truth, I see these constant antagonizing and this radical uh, uh, some parts of radical Islam, not all of them, because it's not a true statement, but to say that there are people who would want to see Israel, not Israel, but the Jews in general, gone, wiped off the face of the earth. And we've seen this before. And that same rhetoric, that same spirit still lives. And I think there is a part in here that America will pay for it because of our devotion to Israel, and maybe to a fault, in a sense that uh, we are fighting wars that we never asked to fight, and losing lives that didn't need to be lost. Not because that's any nation who's willing to do something like that. Israel's been picked on for so many years, and they need to be equipped. They need to be equipped and everything to be able to take care of their nation. What I fear is that America will take care of so many other nations that it in itself will fall, and that's what I've been saying for years. I live here, so of course I'm going to put my nation first because I live here, my family's here. Anybody would say that. Netanyahu's doing that. Good leaders protect their nations. So yeah, I don't know what's going to come of this, but I'm praying for Israel. I'm praying for everybody in Israel. I'm praying for every Israeli. I'm praying for the Muslims that are involved who hate this. I'm praying for justice to be served and wickedness and criminals to see their day and to hopefully have a change of heart before stuff like this happens and you're here 1 second and gone the next in a blink of an eye, because it's not good and that's for everybody involved. You need to know Jesus, and I feel like this is a really, really big tipping point towards a World War III, in my view. And I think that America is going to be involved. I just have a feeling it is. I can't see how anybody would look at this and not look at America as the means to the end of how the means of how Israel is able to do this and to get all this weaponry, and that could be to our detriment. So, anyways, that's the video, guys. If you like the video, be sure to like the video. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe. I will see you in the next one.